Please welcome to the show, Caitlin Clark. Caitlin!
Diana Taurasi, Caitlin Clark, and ESPN. When you hear these names together, every true Caitlin Clark fan instantly knows exactly what comes to mind.
I mean, Camilla's coming, Caitlin's coming, there's more than just that are coming. What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
It's the most iconic soundbite of Diana Taurasi's legendary career, turning into locker room fuel for Caitlin Clark fans last season. Though Diana likely meant no harm, her words perfectly reflected the dismissive attitude of the old guard.
But I do think there was at least a hint of UConn speaking in Diana's assessment, just a hint.
Competitive.
She's extremely competitive, and I think she feels some rivalry with all the attention that Caitlin has gotten that she didn't get coming out of UConn.
It's the most iconic soundbite of Diana Taurasi's legendary career, turning into locker room fuel for Caitlin Clark fans last season. Though Diana likely meant no harm, her words perfectly reflected the dismissive attitude of the old guard.
They're going to get the ball up in time. Clark for the win!
She had the charisma, the swagger, and the undeniable numbers to back it all up. Caitlin Clark brought an energy and level of excitement the game hadn't seen before. So much so that even her scrimmage highlights were SportsCenter worthy. Beyond the hype, she shattered viewership records, with her games outdrawing NBA playoff matchups. Yet, what made this moment even more intriguing was Diana Taurasi's viral reality is coming line before Caitlin entered the WNBA. That statement ended up being the truest preview of what Clark was about to face.
A deep one. You bet! Caitlin Clark!
Caitlin Clark entered the league riding a tidal wave of hype fueled by record-breaking ratings. She pulled in a staggering 18.9 million viewers during the women's final against South Carolina, making it the most watched college women's game ever, even surpassing the men's final. And if critics want to argue that fans were just tuning in for South Carolina, well, this year's March Madness tells a different story. The championship drew 8.5 million viewers. Solid, but still 10 million fewer than when Caitlin faced the same team. That gap proves the difference was Clark. So, whether you love her or not, her star power is undeniable. Naturally, when she transitioned into the WNBA, the spotlight came with her. But with that spotlight came scrutiny. Heavy scrutiny. Especially from the so-called old guard of women's basketball, who were quick to question whether Caitlin could live up to the hype she carried in.
Carter and Clark.
Veteran players and longtime analysts who had paid their dues in a league that constantly fought for visibility suddenly watched all the cameras swing toward one rookie. And let's be honest, some of that reaction looked a lot like jealousy. Whispers started that Caitlin Clark hadn't earned it yet, that the true proving ground was the WNBA. That's exactly why Diana Taurasi's now famous reality is coming line went viral. It became a rallying point for both sides of the Caitlin Clark debate. Old school fans defended Taurasi, arguing she was simply being honest and preparing Clark for the league's higher physicality, faster pace, and deeper talent. Meanwhile, Clark's supporters saw it as dismissive, especially given that Caitlin had just rewritten the college basketball record books. And truthfully, they weren't entirely wrong. The WNBA is a different beast, and Caitlin definitely experienced a transition phase early on. But the difference? She didn't flinch. She adapted, she sharpened, and before long, she went on an absolute tear.
5 quick points here for Caitlin Clark, and Thomas just runs over Clark. Not going to get the benefit of the whistle that time.
After the Olympic break, Caitlin Clark hit another gear, averaging 23 points per game with the poise and confidence of a seasoned veteran. She wasn't just scoring, she was leading, lifting a franchise long considered a bottom feeder straight into the playoffs. That's not luck, that's a game changer. By season's end, she averaged 19.2 points, 5.7 rebounds, and a league-best 8.4 assists across 40 games. Clark shattered the single-season assists record with 337, broke the rookie scoring record with 769 points, and drained 122 threes, the most ever by a WNBA rookie. She absorbed the physicality, adjusted to the speed, thrived under immense pressure, and despite what Cheryl Swoops might argue, she dominated. With those accomplishments, anticipation for her sit-down segment with Diana Taurasi was sky-high. Fans wanted to see if the two would finally address the tension surrounding Diana's infamous "reality is coming" line. It didn't take long before Taurasi confronted the elephant in the room. This exchange may have been light-hearted, but it carried real weight. In that moment, Diana essentially admitted, "I was wrong to doubt you," and she did it on national television, something she didn't have to do. Caitlyn played along with a smile, but make no mistake, it mattered. They could have smoothed things over privately, and by all accounts, there were no hard feelings during the 2024 season. Caitlyn has always shown respect for the veterans, especially Diana, one of the players she grew up admiring, though some argue she respects the old guard a little too much. Still, Taurasi's public acknowledgement was powerful. It signaled to critics and haters alike that the narrative had shifted. Caitlin Clark had proven herself, and it was officially time to give her the respect she deserves.
Thank you.
And congrats.
Now, unfortunately, reality is coming to me now.
Just wait until you hear the rest of the clips from this interview. The entire conversation feels like a breath of fresh air, and hopefully a sign the league is evolving. With WNBA teams moving their fever matchups into NBA arenas and networks broadcasting 41 of her 44 games nationally, Caitlin Clark's impact is impossible to ignore. She's creating opportunities for the league that haven't existed before. And now, even the veterans who were slow to embrace her are starting to change their tune. Public praise from the old guard is becoming the norm, with the message clear: welcome to the club.
It's under 8 minutes to play. Clark finds some space and hits the three.
They're speaking to Caitlin Clark as if she's already a veteran. And honestly, it fits. She's no longer just the face of the next generation. She's the player setting the standard for it. On the floor, in the locker room, and even off the court, Caitlin has established herself as a true leader. Remember, Diana Taurasi's early criticism was that Clark had only faced kids in college.
Games to get used to.
And the WNBA would be different against grown women. Well, Caitlin faced them, and she beat them. By season's end, there was a legitimate argument that she was the best player in the league. Now, heading into year 2, expectations are sky high, and Caitlin couldn't be more excited.
Caitlin, how excited are you for this next WNBA season? You head coach and Stephanie White. You added Natasha Howard, who she knows really well, DeWanna Bonner, which I know really well, Sophie Cunningham. Like, when you see that and you see those names come in, what does that make you feel like?
This clip alone captures the excitement surrounding Caitlin Clark and the fever. She knows that with more experience and chemistry, this team can be dangerous. Even Sydney Colson, a respected veteran who left the back-to-back champion Aces to join Indiana, admitted the Fever became the team nobody wanted to face at the end of last season. And she's right. Indiana figured it out. Their offense sharpened, their defense communicated better, and most importantly, they believed they could win. Under Clark's leadership, the Fever jumped from a 13-27 poverty record in 2023 to 20-20 in 2024, earning their first playoff berth since 2016. And now they've added even more firepower.
Finds Bonner. Bonner outside. Bonner on the crossover. Bonner moving to her right. High arching three on the way. DB passes in from deep.
Cunningham is starting to cook. Cunningham 3 is good. Cunningham.
The additions of DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard, and Sophie Cunningham, battle-tested veterans with proven resumes, show that the Indiana Fever are no longer a rebuilding project. They're a destination. Add to that a massive behind-the-scenes upgrade in head coach Stephanie White, and it's clear this franchise is operating on a different level. Of all the moves the Fever front office made, bringing in White might be the most important. Even Caitlin Clark has acknowledged that this team feels different now. It's been overhauled. Sure, it will take some time to gel, but with the championship DNA now in the locker room, that learning curve is far shorter. And let's address the so-called locker room issues narrative. It was a total myth. If you listened to Cheryl Swoops and a handful of other skeptical voices, you might have thought Indiana's locker room was toxic. That vets didn't want to be there, that nobody was getting along. But then the off-season happened. And what did we see? Top veterans, players with options, players with rings, chose to come to Indiana. That doesn't happen if the culture is broken. That happens when there's something real building. A vibe, a vision, a foundation players want to be a part of. Caitlin Clark herself shut that narrative down directly. And that wasn't just a clapback, it was a truth bomb. Because while the media ran with speculation, the actual vibe inside that locker room was fun. They were clicking, learning, grinding, and laughing together. The whole toxic locker room story was fabricated nonsense, much like many of the other false narratives thrown at Caitlin since she entered the league. Yes, Caitlin has had to deal with her share of rumors, mistruths, and unfair criticism. Comes with the territory when you're at the top. But that doesn't mean it's not exhausting. It's draining to see your name dragged into headlines that have nothing to do with your game, or to have people question your character, your leadership, or your relationships. What's refreshing, and honestly elite, is how she handles it. Caitlin doesn't spiral. She doesn't clap back on social media. She just keeps showing up, keeps hooping, and keeps winning. That kind of composure is rare. It's what makes her more than just a leader in points and assists. It makes her a leader in grace under pressure. Someone who leads by example in every sense.
Hey, you be studying my arms? Yeah, I do. It's very nice.
Then Diana and Sue shifted the conversation toward Caitlin Clark's off-season training. And it's no secret she's taken her fitness to an entirely new level. When asked about her now viral muscle flex on the sidelines of the Iowa-Ohio State game, Caitlin didn't use it to taunt or call anyone out. Instead, she explained it as proof of how much stronger she's become, both mentally and physically. This wasn't the first time Caitlin Schwarzenegger hit the weight room hard. After the Kennedy Carter incident, Clark put on real muscle. Not figuratively, but literally. Adding 2 pounds of lean mass in just a month. When she returned from the Olympic break, she wasn't just more confident. She was more durable, more unshakable. Her scoring efficiency spiked. She finished through contact with ease. She absorbed the league's physicality instead of dodging it. That flex then wasn't just a viral moment, it was a mission statement. She's here, she's built for this, and she's only getting better. Heading into this season, Clark looks even stronger, sharper, and more prepared to handle whatever challenges get thrown her way. But here's the real kicker. The physical growth is only the surface. The part of her game drawing the most buzz, even from Diana Taurasi herself, is Caitlin's elite basketball IQ.
I think I got better at it.
People think, and then people think basketball.
Her patience is elite. Caitlin sees the floor like a 10-year veteran, not a second-year player. Commentators say she makes the right play 9 times out of 10. But in reality, she's often creating the best play no one else even noticed.
Her arm's gonna fall off. Brian Howard, shoot till your arm falls off.
Clark bounces, busting the spin in the finish. The offense is woken up for it.
Whether it's threading a pass through traffic or pulling defenders just enough to free a teammate, Caitlin Clark's mind works a step ahead of everyone else. Her basketball IQ shines in every decision she makes on the floor. And when you combine that with her deep range, elite vision, and now a stronger, more durable frame, that's not just a good player, that's a nightmare for defenses. The league knows it. Taurasi knows it. And based on this wave of public praise, they're finally admitting it openly. This segment was refreshing because it showed something bigger. Caitlin Clark isn't just being tolerated by the old guard anymore, she's being respected. The tone has shifted dramatically since last year. What once sounded like skepticism and caution has transformed into admiration and acknowledgement. The veterans see it, the legends see it, and they're willing to say it out loud now. Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA with heavy scrutiny and impossible expectations, but she didn't just survive, she thrived. She proved herself against the best. And now the reality has settled in across the league. Caitlin Clark isn't just here. She's changing the game. Just look around, the proof is everywhere. National TV coverage at an unprecedented level. NBA arenas being upgraded just to host her road games. Preseason sellouts. That's right, preseason. Buzz like this doesn't just happen. It's earned. It's the Caitlin Clark effect. And it's only getting stronger. Now she's got reinforcements. With DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard, Sydney Colson, and Sophie Cunningham joining the squad. And with the continued growth of the Fever's core, Indiana isn't a 5-year project anymore. They're legitimate championship contenders right now. That's why this season feels like the Caitlin Show. Only on steroids. And no, that's not a joke about her muscles. Well, maybe just a little. The truth is, this is everything the WNBA needs. The legends, Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Miller, and others, aren't just acknowledging the hype anymore, they're endorsing it. They're saying what fans have known for a while. Caitlin Clark is the rising tide that lifts all boats. Her impact isn't limited to box scores. It's reshaping the league's visibility, energy, and future. Or what do you think? Has the tide officially turned? Are we witnessing the beginning of a new WNBA era? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.